मुच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ नमो गुरुभ्यः श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Welcome you all to this series of talks organized by Prempuri Ashram, Mumbai, for Kaivalyopanishad. This is in memory of Swami Brahmcari Shri Bodhananda Maharaj. So the topic is Kaivalyopanishad, and this is the second session, and towards the end, after the Kaivalyopanishad, this session is complete. Every session I would like to remember our Brahmcari Swamiji Maharaj in my own words. So, yesterday we saw the first mantra of Kaivalyopanishad, which is what? Atha Ashvalayanaha Bhagavantam Parameshthim Parisametya Uvacha. Ashvalayana Maharaj Rishi went to Brahmaji, and with all due respects, he asked the following to Brahmaji. What did he ask? That is going to be the starting of today's topic, the second mantra. Adihi bhagavo brahma vidyam varishtam sada sadbihi sevyamanam nigudham yaya chirat sarva papam vyapohya parat param purusham yati vidwan. Adihi, Ashvalayana Rishi is asking to Brahmaji, Adihi, hey Brahmaji, may you recollect, remember and recollect for my sake. Bhagavaha, Brahmaji, Sambodhana, it's a vocative. Bhagavan is the actual vocative. Here in the Upanishad they have used Bhagavaha, so that is a Chandasa Prayoga. It's a very unique Prayoga. Only allowable and available in the Vedas. That is called Chandasi, or any other authentic texts. It is only there, it is not, it's grammatically it should be Bhagavan, Brahmaji, it's a Sambodhana, vocative. Then, please teach me, is what is being asked by Ashvalayana. Teach me what? Brahma Vidyam. Please teach me. Madartam Smara Brahma Vidyam. Brahmanaha Vidyam. Brahmanaha Vidyam. See, this word Bhagavaha, as we saw, we'll see in the commentary, this is Bhaga Shabda is used only for Bhagavan. Bhaga Asya Asti Iti Bhagavan. The one who has Bhaga is called Bhagavan. So that word in the commentary section we'll see, and we will see the word Brahma Vidya now. And also we'll have commentary. On each word there is a Padartha, there's a commentary on Padavyakyanam is there, commentary section, as you remember. If you remember, it is the commentaries of Shankaranji will be seeing. So here, teach me Brahma Vidya is being told. Brahma Vidya, Brahmanaha Vidya, the knowledge of Brahman, the knowledge of that which is limitless, which is free from the sense of bondage, which is free from the sense of bondage. If you may say, in terms of space, there is no bondage. In terms of time, there is no bondage. Our deha has got limitation in terms of both space and time. In terms of object, our deha is all limited. But our Swarupa, which is Brahma Swarupa, is limitless. We'll see that. In terms of object also, we are limited. We have certain things and we always are seeking several other things, right? So this way, our body, mind, senses are limited. Our form is limited, whereas our formless reality is limitless, and that we call by the name Brahman. Please teach me, give me the knowledge of Brahman. That is the Brahma Vidya. Then Varishta. This Brahma Vidya is what? This adjectives for Brahma Vidya. It is Varishta. Atishayena Sreshtham. It is the highest, in the sense this knowledge is a complete knowledge. Brahma Vidya is a complete Vidya. Whereas if you take other Vidya, say for example a science or math, any Vidya, you can never complete that department of knowledge. If someone says, I can complete everything I need to learn in science by doing a PhD, you know what? A PhD person only would know more and more of a very specific area. So someone said, the more you study, when it comes to worldly studies, the more you study, the more and more you know of lesser and lesser area. So more you know of a smaller area. Then you study even further, advanced studies, PhD, postdoctor, then you know even more of a even smaller area. So this is the other Vidyas, whereas Brahma Vidya is a complete knowledge. So it is Varishtham. We'll see all that in the commentary also. Sada, always, Sadvihi, Dehadishu, Atma Buddhihi, Nasti, Shunyahi. Dehadishu Atma Buddhi Shunyahi. They don't have this knowledge. Brahma Vidya, please teach me, which is Varishta, which is all special, which Sada Sadbhihi, by all the seeker, by all the Sajjanas. Sajjanas are the people who know what is reality, what is Satya. They don't have Atma Buddhi on the Deha Mana Sanghata. They don't have the Atma Buddhi, they don't have Atma Buddhi on Anatma. They know Deha has an expiry date, a birthday and an expiry date, whereas they themselves in reality have no expiry date and hence are ever born also. So that kind of a knowledge, clarity they have in terms of this Swarupa. Swarupa Jnanam. That Sadbihi, they are always reveling in that knowledge you teach me. Sevyamanam. Sevyamanam is reveling in that knowledge. In their heart, it is very clear. That is what is called Sevyamanam. That clarity, Nishchayatmaka Buddhi is there about what they are in reality. This knowledge is Nigudha. Nigudha is secret. Nigudha, Nitaram Gudam. It's a very long-term, well-kept secret. Why? Because nobody wants to hide this knowledge from anybody, but it is here in the guha, in the cave of your buddhi, yet it is not available for us. This reality is what we see ourselves as in our buddhi, what is already there, but it is as though hidden from us. So that way it is a great secret, secret of all secrets. Yeah, and it is so much of a secret because it is yourself. In reality, it is yourself. So you cannot really go and stumble upon this knowledge. To stumble upon something, it has to be outside. This is your inner self. You cannot stumble upon this. You have to only know. There's no other go. So that kind of a secret. And it is only covered by our ignorance. So it is available. It has to be discovered. The cover is just our ignorance. Yet it has been a secret for us for several janmas. So that kind of a secret. So only moha is the vyavadhana. Our ignorance, our confusion is our error of what we take ourselves to be in reality is the vyavadhana, is the parda, is the curtain, as though a real physical curtain, but it is not. So that has to be curtain. The curtain of ignorance has to be removed by the knowledge of Vedanta. So that is why it is Nigudam. And by this Brahma Vidya Yaya Sarva Papam Vyapohya, with this Brahma Vidya knowledge, Sarva Papam, Yaya means with this knowledge, Sarva Papam, Papa, here is what? Ajnana is the Papa. Look how kind and generous our Mahatmas are there. They're just saying our Ajnana is our Papa because it is depriving us of the knowledge of what we really are. It is depriving us of the wealth which we already have. So that way they are compassionately saying that is the only Papa. And it is a Sarva Papa. And that Papa, Sarva Papam, by this knowledge, Jaya, Sarva Papam, Vyapohya. Sarva Papam Vyapohya. It is destroyed. All papas are resolved, as though resolved. The papas are just drops off this person with the help of this knowledge. And how long does it take? Achirat. Doesn't take a long time. It happens in a very short time once this knowledge is there. Achirat. Chiranjeevi is long life. Chira means long, for a length of time. But here, with even a bit of exposure of this reality, if the mind is prepared, then what happens is you see your reality here and now. You don't have to travel. Achirat means you don't have to travel, take several janmas. You don't have to take several janmas. If this knowledge is clear, it can happen here in this janma only. And Parat Param, so once this Papa is gone, this Purusham, this person, look at this person, it is not just a knowledge for the Sadbihi, this person, Purusham, who is in nature Paripurna. Paripurnat Purusha hai, that person. Parat Param Yati. Parat Param Yati. He attains the highest of highest. What is Parat Param, highest of highest? What does it mean? We know that all the karya in this jagat, the entire creation, all the karya, That Prapancha, there's a Karana, there's a cause. And he goes even beyond the cause. That doesn't mean he goes somewhere else into some other world. But here and now, he sees himself as the changeless cause of the entire creation in terms of he being the Adhisthana. So, cause, effect is there, and cause also, effect is all looking so different. Effect is all like the effect of, our ignorance taking the rope to be snake and a streak of water and whatnot. That effect is there, but the effect cause is ignorance. So this rope is even beyond the cause. It is why the whole thing is happening, and it is only because of the knowledge the rope will be free from the fear of snake or the fear of samsara or the dukkha shoka of samsara. So this kind of it is the parad param. This kind of aloofness, not in reality, but the asangata is there of yourself in reality. So yati, this is attained. This kind of a clarity, understanding, self-knowledge is attained. Upaiti, prapnoti, by who? By vidvans. By the vidvan, this is obtained. So what kind of, when we say vidvan, then who is the vidvan? Soham asmiti, that which is Brahman. It's not a padartha, it is not something to be attained, that is me in reality. So that is Soham asmi. It is not something which is somewhere else and has to be reached or gained, but in reality that has been my nature all the time. I just have to see that. That is the Vidwan. So this is the word by word translation kind of. Just if you want me to put the entire translation together, what is the entire translation? Would be, O Lord, please teach me Brahmavidya, self-knowledge, which is the noblest and is always resorted to by the good people, which is the highest secret, and by knowing which the learned ones cross all sins, papa, before long, and reach the highest Purusha. That's a literal translation. I've taken this from our Swami Vidatmanji Maharaj's Pustaka, from his book on Kaivalyopanishad. Very elaborately, Swamiji has written for each mantra. I've taken this translation from that Pustaka. So here now, what is even more important is what Sri Shankarananji has to say about this mantra, which is given by his commentary. So we're going to read that commentary, that is in Sanskrit. I will read and I'll explain it to you. Adihi madartam madanugrahartam smara. May you please recollect, Brahmaji does not have a memory problem. It is very easy for him to state it all. But he is a Mukta Purusha himself. So our Ashvarana Rishi, who himself is very learned, is requesting Brahma to take the pain of having to explain him everything in detail. Because Brahmaji, you yourself are there already in terms of your understanding, in terms of your clarity. But in order to make me see like you see, hey Brahmaji, may you go through everything in terms of the teaching for my sake. So that kind of a smara. Bhagavah, Bhagavan, Bhagavan, hey. So he's calling, Ashwan Rishi is calling Brahmaji, who is his own grandfather, right? So he's calling him Bhagavan. Bhagavan is a very common address. If you go to the north of India, Mahatmas, they welcome everyone. Hey Bhagavan, please come. Bhagavan, come. They do that. Hey Bhagavan, they address everyone as Bhagavan. Very nice way of addressing. So that is the Bhagavan Shabda. But the Bhagavan Shabda and Bhagavan Shabda in reality is what? You will see the definition here. Samagra Dharma Jnana Vairagya Aishwarya Yashas Shriyam Bhaga Bhaga Asya Asti Iti Bhagavan. One who possesses Bhaga is Bhagavan, and Bhaga is sixfold wealth, Aishwarya. What are the sixfold wealth? Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya, Aishwarya, Yashaha, and Shriyam. 6. These are the 6. And well, even I may say that I have some Aishwarya, I have some wealth, I have some control, I have some Shriyam, which is wealth, and then I also follow some Dharma, and I also have an overlordship. Aishwarya would mean overlordship. I do have some overlordship over an ant. I can kill a mosquito. So that's why here you see Samagra. Samagra word is there, means the entire gambit of Dharma, one who has in his control, one who is the Srishtikarta of everything what is Dharma. Then total Jnanam, complete Jnanam, even Jnanam of what is Vidya and Avidya, both Jnanam of what is Avidya also and Vidya also. This kind of a total knowledge regarding the entire creation also. That is a Samagra Jnanam. Samagra Vairagyam. So Vairagya is also is total when it comes to Bhagavan. I'll tell you why Vairagya is very important. Because he is also Sarvaishwaryavan. Samagra Aishwaryam also with Bhagavan. He is in total control. Coronavirus might look it is out of control, but it is within Ishvara's control. That is why we see finally Ishvara has the say, and we can see that the same human beings, because of you who this error happened, with the same human beings, the minds of all the human beings, all the scientists, which is all Bhagavad Aishwarya, it is working together to solve the problem. So that is how Bhagavan is in total control. Sarvaishwaryavan. Then Yashaha, he has all fame, all glory is to the Lord, they say, right? Almighty. So Bhagavan has got all the glory. All the glory of everything which we see is all Bhagavan's glory. Then Shriyam, so he's got all the wealth. So with all the wealth, if we are given all the wealth, the entire wealth, we won't be ready to share. Why? Because we don't have that Vairagya. And here we saw one of the Aishwarya is one of the Shadaishwarya is one of them is Vairagya also. Bhagavan has got total Vairagya. So this way, Bhagavan is complete. The Bhagavan Shabdam is a complete word, and that Bhagavan, that vocative word for the Bhagavan is Bhagavan, and Brahmaji is addressed as Bhagavan by our Ashwalayana Rishi. Brahma Vidyam, Brahmanaha. Here, I am just going to the words in the shloka and looking at the commentary. If you have the shloka before you, you can just look at the words, or if you have the commentary, you can also follow with me. Deva Desha Kala Vastu Paricheda Shunyasya. I want that knowledge, that Vidya. Which Vidya? Which is free from the Paricheda, which is free from the afflictions, which is free from the bondage in terms of space, time, and objects. A kind of a knowledge of freedom I want in terms of Shastra, not freedom in terms of just not listening to anybody or doing whatever we want, not that freedom we are talking. We're talking of that freedom which has been our reality as and how Shastra looks at it. Looks at that as Buddhihi, that Vidya I want, Brahma Vidya. We'll see what else is there. So this is a the Brahma Shabda, the Brahman Shabda, we should look into it, right? So the Brahman Shabda is from the Dhatu in Sanskrit. All the words, they have a root. And here, Bhrugu, Vruddhav. Bhrugu is the Dhatu for the Shabda Brahman, and the word meaning would be Vruddhav. Vruddhav is actually big. But here, the Brahma Shabda, when you say bigger, the big is not a complete translation. Why? Because the word bigger in English is used as an adjective, right? It's an adjective. If you say big elephant, you imagine of an elephant which is so huge. But if I use the word bigger and say big mosquito, you won't think of a mosquito which is as big as an elephant, right? So the big word, which is an adjective, it is actually qualified by the noun. The noun restricts the adjective, right? The noun restricts the form. The noun restricts the size of the adjective in your mind. When it comes to big mosquito or big elephant, it decides, the noun decides the size of the adjective. But Brahman is unqualified bigger, it is not qualified. So you are not qualifying Brahman, the bigness of Brahman, with any adjective. That is why it is unqualified big. And again, big is not a great word, it is limitless, unqualified limitless. When I say limitless, my limitless is restricted by what I think as limitless in my mind. But Brahman is limitless in terms of space, time, object, whatnot. You know, when they say Desha Kala Vastu Parichinna Shunya Hai, we only think of in terms of these three objects, Desha, Kala and Vastu. But that itself is a limitation, right? So Brahman is limitless, not just in these three dimensions, but it is also limitless in limitless way of dimensions. So that kind of a limitless Brahman, which is our reality, we're going to see that. That is why the whole interest is. It happens to be your reality. That is why the whole interest. It happens to be Paramananda Swarupa. Not just limitless, it is Ananda. It is not just Ananda, it is also the source of all Ananda. So that is why there is so much interest in this Brahma Vidya. That Brahma Vidya we are going to see. So that is why it is Tam Varishtam. Then Buddhi. The Buddhi word is there, right? Brahma Vidya. Vidya means Buddhi. Give me that knowledge. Give me that knowledge which can remove. Because it is Vidya because it removes the avidya about Brahman. So Ashvalayana Maharaj is not asking for give me Brahman. He is not asking make me see Brahman. He is saying give me the knowledge about Brahman. So that important knowledge is. Knowledge is all power. It is so important to gain that knowledge. In this case, it is the knowledge about yourself. So once you gain the knowledge, it is as good as gaining yourself in reality. There is no doing after that. That kind of a varishtam, that is kind of a great knowledge this is. Buddhihi tat sakshatkara. Buddhihi tat sakshatkara karanam. So this vidya is the sakshatkara karanam. You see, Brahman and Brahma Vidya, they are totally different in a way. Which way it is? Brahman, your nature, the Brahman, like a rope, it doesn't remove ignorance. Brahma Vidya is opposed to avidya. Brahman is not opposed to even avidya. Brahman is the ashraya for even avidya. It even eliminates avidya. It is giving the support for even avidya, but then which is there with us from anadi kala, from time infinite. But what can remove this avidya which has been there forever is the vidya of Brahman. So that way Brahma Vidya is what to be sought after. then it gives a sakshatkara. Sakshatkara means all your confusions have been resolved. So you see yourself, tadrupam. You see yourself as the reality. That kind of sakshatkara. Ghata sakshatkara happens. However, you talk about the pot sakshatkara happens when it is in pratyaksha. It is available to you to see. Right? When the pot is right in front of you. So here, the sakshatkara of Brahman is likewise, it is as good as, this knowledge makes you see Brahman as good as you see a pot in front of you, or even better. It makes you see as not even pratyaksha but aparoksha, as if it is not different from you, that kind of a seeing. So that's why this Brahma Vidya is, what I wanted to say is sakshatkara lakshanam. Tam varishtham atishayena sreshtham. So it is special. Atishayena. There's an adbhuta, there's an atishaya of this knowledge compared to other knowledge, because as we said before, this knowledge is complete. You will see, you will have the vision of Brahman here and now, and there's nothing more to seek after that. In terms of what is reality, that seeking won't be there. Whereas other knowledge, you keep seeking, and there's no end to seeking or mastering the other areas of knowledge. Sreshtam sada nityam sadbihi dehadishu atma buddhi shunyahi. As we said, this sadbihi, or those wise men, wise person, or wise people who have the nishchaya buddhi, who have the clarity that they are not just this deha. They are not just a deha which has a date of manufacturing and date of expiry. They have been there forever. Deha comes and goes, but they have been forever. What kind of knowledge we have now? We say this deha has to be there forever. That is why we do everything, and we think the life comes and goes. So our vision is life comes and goes. Body is, has to be there forever. Body is there, is more permanent, whereas the vision of the sadbihi is, which is the vision of the sadbihi, the sajjana who was seeing this vision, who is having this vision, for them, deha comes and goes, but they have been there forever. Deha comes and goes, but they are there forever. That kind of a vision one who has. Then, what is the explanation here in the commentary? Hridaye dhriyamanam. They're very clear. They are seeing the reality. How real is their knowledge? So just like for us, this deha is so real, likewise for them, their swarupa. For us, this rupa is so real, and for the sajjana, the atma swarupa is so real. That kind of a reality. That is also clear in their heart. They only see that. Just like we are very clear about the knowledge of gold, with all the differences, right? And I'll give you one more example. These children, they all have this liking for biscuits, right? Crackers, they call in the US. In India, we call it biscuits. So the biscuits, they're called animal biscuits or animal crackers. They come in different forms. One cracker will look like elephant, other cracker will look like butterfly, one will look like a rabbit. So they make it in different shapes. Children will fight. I want only this. I want an elephant cracker. Someone will say, I want the butterfly cracker. So likewise they fight. But the sadvihi, the sajjana, they clearly see there is no need for fight. It is all only wheat and sugar, and it has all got the same taste. So that is the vision of the sadbihi. Hridaye dhriyamanam, that kind of a clarity, it is always there. That clarity never goes off. That comes first for them. For us it comes later, for them that stands out. Then, dhriyamanam nigudham sarva bhuteshu atmanah atmani vidyamanam nigudham sarva bhuteshu atmani vidyamanam api avidyaya nitaram. So this is the reality. This reality we are talking. This swarupa we are mentioning as a Brahma swarupa. This is not just my Swarupa or your Swarupa, it is the Atma Swarupa of all the beings. From a tiny grass, blade of grass, until Brahmaji, this is reality. Okay? So that being the reality, that is still hidden. So, Nigudham, Sarvabhuteshu Atmanam, fir bhi, it is hidden. Vidyamanam api, avidyaya niguttaram. So this is hidden, not because Ishvara wants to hide, not because some powerful person has to hide. It is our own avidya, our own ignorance which is hiding this fact from us. Nitaram samvratam yatha brahmavidyaya yatha brahmavidya achirad adhirgena kalena sarvam papam nikhila dukkha karanam ajnanam samskaram cha vyapohya. So this being the case, by this brahmavidya yatha, this being the case, brahmavidya, by this knowledge of Brahman, brahmavidya, yaya, right? Yaya is there. Yaya brahmavidya, sorry. Yaya is there. Yaya means brahmavidya. Achirad. Achirad means here and now. I was talking about how moksha is here and now, how this reality of freedom of ourselves, this parama purushartha, moksha purushartha, can be accomplished here and now through the teaching. Just like we accomplish wealth, we accomplish some pleasures, we accomplish some good deeds. Likewise, here and now we can have the satisfaction of our own reality. That when I said other religion people from other religion, they couldn't believe that. They were actually more curious because they have been always taught that that knowledge which liberates, or that happens, that happiness, Paramananda Prapti, they always postpone it as something which happens after death. So, in this case, in our case, in our parampara, we say it is here and now, and achirad, that is why the achirad word is there. Adhirgena kalena sarvam papam nikhila dukkha karanam. So the karana for all of dukkha is papa. Karana for all of dukkha is our papa. So as a sadhaka, we should own up our dukkha as papa, our papa being one of the nimitta. But here, don't worry about all those big papas which we can imagine. But here, the papa is what? Sarva jagat karana, sarva. Ajnanam is told as papa. Ajnanam and samskaram. See, ajnana, because of ajnana we do so much things and so much, and then that becomes our samskara, that becomes our ichcha, that develops our ichcha for the next janma, and it keeps going on and on like that. Our punya papa is one thing, and because of our punya papa there's so much samskara, good samskara and bad samskara. Vasanas are there. So that vasana is a collection of all our desires. So why desire? Because it all started with ignorance. So there will be so much desires left along with our punya and papa. So punya and papa itself will not throw us back into samsara. Punya and papa won't throw us back. Along with the punya and papa, what has to be there is our ichcha, raga, dvesha, in terms of our vasana. They all have to remain. And when they are there, then Bhagavan says he needs one more birth, depending on his ichcha, depending on his vasana, and also depending on his punya papa. So until you have this ichcha in terms of vasana, strong vasana, Bhagavan cannot make you be born again with your based on just your punya papa. So based on just punya papa, we don't get a rebirth. Punya papa is what we deserve, the birth. Based on punya papa is what we deserve. But Bhagavan will wait for us to express our desire in terms of our vasana. If the vasana is also there, then Bhagavan says, may he take another birth of this form to exhaust this vasana, and based on his punya papa, it would be a form which is very close to a certain animal, certain being, or certain human form in a certain place and all that. So it is like people have, these days we have good credit and bad credit, right? So punya is good credit, papa is bad credit. And when you, and good credit, everybody tries to avoid bad credit and try to have good credit. But it doesn't always happen to everyone like that because of their own difficulties. There might be some accumulation of bad credit. He gets a credit score which is bad. It is bad. But then does it matter to him? It matters only when he has a desire, when he has a vasana to build a house, so he goes to the bank for a loan. So when he goes to the bank for the loan, that desire when he goes, that is when the punya and papa he will look into the good credit and bad credit. Based on that, he desires so much, but he only deserves so much. So there will be a matching, and you will get what you're eligible for. So this is how punya papa along with our samskara works together for punarjanma, for punarjanma and continuation of the samsara. Not in terms of janma. Janma is somebody will say janma is fine, but the janma can be any birth. It can be any animal birth also. But more than that, the bandha, so sambandha with the bandha of the certain deha in a certain birth, that is the samsara. Samsara cycle, it's not that, it is just janma marana chakra. It is the janma marana chakra, whatever deha, whatever buddhi we have, that has got a limitation. That binds us. And that sambandha, that connection, the association with that bondage, that is samsara. And that association can be resolved when you know yourself in reality through the Shastra and Guru, and that association you will see as ajnana. That is all it takes to see yourself free from that bondage. So that kind of a knowledge, sada sadbhi sevyamanam, sarvapapam vyapohya. I'm continuing to read this commentary. Nikhila dukkha karana jnanam samsaram cha vyapohya vividham parityajya. The vyapohya is, it is just resolved once and forever in all terms. Vinashya ityatah parat sarva jagat karanat parat param, right? Parat param. Sarva jagat karanat param. So we always think the karana is superior to the karya. The cause is bigger than the effect, right? So we have a cause might be bigger, but the cause is also ajnana sometimes. That is why we see all the effects, different effects, which scare us, which makes us feel we are limited and all that, right? Which makes us not accept ourselves who we are, how we are, and what we are, right? So it is not about just some self-acceptance in terms of, some personality management and all that. It is about self-acceptance in reality, self-acceptance in terms of who you really are. So that is lacking, right? So that lacking is all because of ignorance. So ignorance is the cause, and for the entire Srishti also, we cannot simply say ignorance is the cause. We say that is Maya, the Shakti because of which the entire Srishti is standing in front of us as an insurmountable factor, that Jagat, which is intimidating us in all its different forms. Here para of even the cause for the Jagat. Parama Utkrishta Ajnana Ashraya Vishayatvabhya. Because Ajnana is the Ashraya for, the Ajnana of rope is the Ashraya for, Ajnana of rope is the Ashraya for seeing the snake there. So Ajnana is giving is actually making us see the snake. Ajnana is the cause, snake is the effect, and you're going beyond this cause and effect cycle. That is Parat Param. Paripurnam Purusham. That you will attain. Yati means Upaiti Prapnoti. Prapnoti not in terms of going somewhere. Prapnoti in terms of seeing. Seeing as good as knowing. Knowing which is as good as seeing. The vision, the clarity here and now. That is the Prapnoti. then that is a yati. Then who? Then that person yati who obtains that? Vidwan. So this is all the question Ashvalana is asking, that Vidwan, talk about that knowledge with which this Vidwan can see. Vidwan is what? Here, Vidwan ahameva sohamiti. So Vidwan is not just Vidwan of Mridangam, Vidwan of Tabla Vidwan, Mridanga Vidwan, Sitar Vidwan. Here the Vidwan is Soham Asmi, I am that. Tat Tvama, Soham Asmi, I am that. Sakshat Karavan. One who sees himself as that what Brahman is. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Ananta Swarupam, Satya Swarupam, Jnana Swarupam, Aham. That one is able to see as non-different from that Brahman, non-different from that reality called Brahman. Because if I say non-different from Brahman, then the Brahman will be taken to be another Padartha. It is as if another Padam, another thing, another object. No. That Brahman is nothing but the name for you in reality, for your real self, for you who you are in reality. Then Tasmai, third mantra I see. Tasmai Sahovacha Pitamahascha Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Davehi. Tasmai Sahovacha Pitamahascha Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Avehi. Tasmai, to that Ashvalayana. Ashvalayan ke liye. Sir, who is that sir here? Who is that sir here? Sir is Brahmaji. Pitamaha is a grandfather. Ho vacha, ha uvacha, ha khila uvacha. Indeed, he did indeed took the question of Ashvalayana seriously, indeed, and then said so much. What did he first say? What did he start saying? Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Davehi. Yoga, may you know because of Shraddha. May you know that knowledge. I'll tell you the sadhana for the knowledge. I'll tell you the means for that knowledge, which is Shraddha, Bhakti and Dhyana. With this association with Shraddha, association with Shraddha is what? Shraddha is Astikya Buddhi, we saw. Shraddha is trust in the teaching. Shraddha is what you see as possible through the Shastra, you want to make it your own. You spend your length of time, you pursue. The perseverance, the pursuit, the length of time we spend in our pursuit, that trust which is behind that is Shraddha. Then Bhakti. Bhakti is devotion. Devotion, and because of devotion, what you do? You are committed. So that commitment and devotion which leads to commitment is Bhakti. Then Dhyanam, meditation. So Dhyanam is meditation. Associating yourself, yoga, associating yourself with Shraddha, Bhakti and Dhyanam, may you know, Avehi, may you know. So to him, to Ashvalayana, the grandsire said, may you know through Shraddha, trust in the teaching, Bhakti, devotion, commitment, and Dhyanam, meditation. This is the translation of this answer which our Brahmaji has started giving to Ashvalayana. So Shraddha we saw Astikya Buddhi. Let us see what is Shraddha. Let us see the our Shankaraji's commentary on this third mantra. Evam Prakrishta Tasmai. This famous Ashvalayana, to him, towards him, which is Ashvalayana who has been the subject, the last shloka, last mantra to him, Tasmai Swa Sishyaya. The grandfather Brahmaji has taken our Ashvalayana as a Sishya. So Sishyaya Brahmavidya Tine. He is not just Sishya, he is also Brahma Vidya Arti. He has got the desire, burning desire for self-knowledge, Brahma Vidya, for the knowledge of Brahman, which we saw. Brahma Vidya, we've been seeing what it is. Who wants to know the reality. Saha Guruhu. That Guru, who's Guru here? Brahmaji. Saha Guruhu. Sarvajnaha. Guru has to be, Guru here is Brahmaji himself, Bhagavan himself. So he is Sarvajnaha. He knows it all. Sarvam Janati. Sarvam Janati Sarvajnaha. Ha Kila Uvacha. Indeed, said so much. Uvacha Uktavam. Pitamahascha Jagat Pitrunam. Pitamaha word is there in the mantra. Jagat Pitrunam. He is the father of the entire creation. But father of the entire creation, why Pitamaha, then why grandsire? Because Dakshadinam Pita. Dakshadinam, the famous Prajapatis, the famous Srishtikartas, like Daksha, Manu, for all of them, he is the father of all those creators of the creation. So he is Pitamahascha. Kamalasanaha, we saw Kamalasanaha is, he is seated in the lotus. Brahmaji is seated in the lotus. Chakaraha apikarartaha. Also Chakara, Tasmai Sahovacha Pitamahascha is there. Chakara apikarartaha. Apikara means also. So the interest with which Ashvalana asked the question, with the same interest or even more interest, also with the same enthusiasm, also, that kind of an also. So Pitamaha Api Uvacha. See, he is a grandfather, and Ashvalana is a very, compared to his grandfather, he is very young, and he is also, very, say, knowledge-wise also. He may not be ready, but our Bhagavan Brahmaji, natu upeksham kritavan. He did not ignore his question. He did not neglect his question. In fact, he took it very seriously, because another reason Pujya Swamiji Maharaj, Dayananda Saraswati is saying is Sishyas are very rare. So if somebody is asking for something like Brahma Vidya, so better we grab the opportunity and the teacher start teaching. So there's this general belief that there are less Sishyas in the creation. There's more gurus, they say these days, more guru than Sishya. But Dayananda Maharaj says there are not so much gurus, because the Sishyas only become gurus. If there are not many Sishyas, then the gurus also will be, the real gurus who can teach also will be that much less only. So these are the times now where we have so much dearth in terms of this Guru Sishya Sankhya, which means this parampara itself is getting affected because of this. So we should all be the real seekers like Ashvalana and become the real Guru like Brahmaji himself. So then this is the example where Brahmaji is not neglecting, being such a knowledgeable person, being beyond everything, he is coming down to the level of the Sishya, Ashvalana, and he is going to say. And what did he say? Brahma Vidyayaha Sakshad Vaktum Ashakyatvat. Now I have to, Brahmaji is thinking, I have to give him the knowledge of Brahma Vidya Sakshat. So then before I start talking about Brahman, which is Brahmanaha Vangmana Manasatitatvat, this which is your own self and which cannot be objectified. I cannot say to Ashvalana, I cannot show him Brahman like I can show a pot as an object. So first that clarity has to be there. The mind has to be prepared so that I can make him see, not as an object, as his own reality. So with this thought, Bhagavan Brahmaji, what did he say? He is saying, Ataha Upayantaramaha. So instead of going on and on about what is Brahman, he is talking first about the Upaya, Anantara Upaya. the Sakshat Upaya, the direct means is Shravanam. So Bhagavan has to start with Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Likewise, he could have started. But he said, I'm going to take a different route. I am going to talk to Ashlayana about the means first. So the means are what? Shraddha, Astikya Buddhihi. Shraddha is Astikya Buddhihi. Guru Vakyeshu, Shastra Vakyeshu, Astikya Buddhihi. So you see the possibility in terms of who you really are. And the Guru can present you models like Avasthatraya model. He makes you see that you are in the Jagrat Avastha. You are also available in the Swapna Avastha as the Drashta of the Swapna. And then you are also available in the Sushupti Avastha, in spite of your mind and senses are all completely resolved, completely not available. Still, you wake up and say, I slept well. So, they will show you, give you a model like this and make you see the possibility of yourself being Atita, being someone beyond all these three avasthas. You survive all the three avasthas. Then you also would survive the body. So likewise, that is the Shraddha. So that is the Shraddha where, so then you are interested in the words of the Shastra. You want to see more of yourself. You start spending time with a teacher who can expound the Shastra. This is all Shraddha, Astikya Buddhihi. And you may have doubts and you don't question the teaching, but you question your own understanding. This is also Pujya Swami Dayanandaji's words. Instead of questioning the teaching, you question your own understanding, so you see. So this is Pujya Swamiji's definition of Shraddha. It is trust pending understanding. So the understanding will follow here and now, but you just have some patience until that happens. So that is Shraddha. Bhakti is bhajanam is given tadeka tatparya buddhihi. Bhakti is tadeka tatparya buddhihi. Commitment towards knowing this reality. That is bhakti. Bhakti, as soon as we say, we think of bhakti in terms of some devata bhakti. Yes, devata bhakti will prepare our mind. Devata bhakti will make us have that shraddha, have that vishwasa, that with the help of Bhagavan, I am going to see my own self in reality. That is all this possibility of seeing yourself is within the creation of Bhagavan. Within the creation of Bhagavan, all the infrastructure we have, it is all because of Bhagavan's vibhuti, Bhagavan's karuna and all that. So that bhakti, and here that bhakti towards Bhagavan has to be converted to a commitment. That bhakti, commitment on knowing this, Tivra Bhakti, that is the Bhakti. Because what does Bhagavan Sri Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? He says, Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu, Jnani. These are the four types of bhaktas he is saying. Even the Jnani is a bhakta. He is a bhakta of Bhagavan in terms of Bhagavan being Hrideshu, Arjuna Tishtati. Bhagavan being his own Antaryami, and Bhagavan's reality is his own reality. There is no reality of himself other than the reality of Bhagavan. This kind of Ananya Bhakti. That Ananya Bhakti, Bhaktyamam Abhijanati, Yomam Ischach Tattvataha Tatovamam Tattva Jnatva Vishate Anantaram. So the Bhakti is the means, and that Bhakti is the means, and knowledge makes the Bhakti Ananya Bhakti. Alright? So that Bhakti, Shraddha Bhakti, is the sadhana. And then Dhyanam. Shraddha Bhakti, Dhyanam. What is the definition for Dhyanam here? Dhyanam. Vijatiya pratyaya shunya sajatiya pratyaya pravaha. Vijatiya pratyaya shunya. The mind, distracted mind. That is called Vijatiya pratyaya. The mind is not available. When there is mind is thinking something and I am saying something and my body is doing some other cheshta, then this mind is Vijatiya Buddhi. Mind is all over is Vijatiya Buddhi. Mind not being available is Vijatiya Buddhi. Then you train the mind so that Sajatiya Buddhi. So it is only thinking of what we are committed for. It is, the mind is being an instrument. It is available. It is helpful in pursuing this self-knowledge. That is the dhyana upaya. That is the dhyana upaya. That is the mind we want. The pravaha. Etesham yogaha sambandha. So associate yourself with Shraddha, Bhakti and Jnanam, the way it has been explained. Tat karanam iti yavat. That this is the karana for the Brahma Vidya. This is the cause through which Brahma Vidya will be accomplished. Tasmat avehi. Because of this you will know. Then idani. This is for Shraddha, we can say as Shravanam. Shraddha is the sadhana for Shravanam. Then Bhakti is the sadhana because Bhakti has to back up Shraddha. So Bhakti can be, Shraddha would be Shravana and Manana, and Bhakti is the commitment. And then we say that Dhyanam is, we can say Nididhyasanam also. So this way we can connect Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnanam and Dhyanam as the means in terms of Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana also. Bhakti is that, clarity after coming after Shravana and Manana. So, idanim yatha Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Brahma Vidyayam Karanam Tadvat Sanyasamapi. It is Bhakti, Shraddha Bhakti is about what we want to gain, what we want to give up for this knowledge. And that we're going to see the next sloka. So the Shastra is talking about what we need and what has to be given up also. What need not be pursued, what has to be, towards what we should have vairagya. That is also being told here, so that our focus is complete. It's all for the sake of focus on the reality and on the knowledge of the Shastra. So this we'll see in the next sloka. Na karmana na pradayadhane na tyage na ike amritatvama nasho. In that sloka, we'll continue saying this. So with this we'll complete this session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Om Shanti Shanti.